Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, RICANS. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught this truth to the Spirit. And shalom to the mighty Akim and Akwaf out there who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. And today's topic is going to be entitled, I don't know what's going to be entitled, but basically what we're going to be talking about is how people are, or the people today are trying to find a new quote-unquote God. Okay, like they're replacing the Most High Yahweh with these other forms of fake spirituality in order to, make a substitute to the actual Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi. Okay, so basically, I guess the best simplification is that they're making their own idols in a non-physical way. Okay, so now, well, they're not making their own idols because these things have been there before, like astrology, which is one of the things I'm actually going to be talking about. So now, I was watching this video, and this guy said something very interesting, and I also saw a comment. Where is it? That's actually agreed, and I haven't read the replies yet. They're new, so I'll go in it with you guys. So first, let's hear what he said.
A large influx of people in Western society has grown up to be like agnostic. They don't have like a particular religious belief, but they need to have like purpose and value in their life and a direction to orient themselves in. And so they kind of find it in like spiritual things like horoscopes, because it makes you feel good about yourself. Like you don't read a horoscope that tells you you're like a demon. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It tells you like, sometimes you could be somewhat unfaithful. They find nice ways to say mean things. Yeah. So people associate with it because it kind of gives them purpose. And in that case, like, you know what I'm saying, it's doing its thing. But at the same time, stop applying that shit criteria to me. It had nothing to do with me.
Because they believe in
Okay, so right there, he explained it really well. Like I don't think I've ever fully like comprehended or laid it out like that before. Like that's a really good explanation. So basically, this guy commented and said, I have that exact same theory, bro. Astrology has the guidance of religion, but none of the responsibilities or commitments. Okay? So, okay. Now, me saying that right now, I'll admit that I forgot that's what it said. But this is even more of an idol that they would want to follow, because they just want to take the good from it, but they don't want to have any responsibilities or experience any of the bad that comes with, I don't want to do this part of the religion. Okay, so that's where this astrology comes in from, and he actually laid it out really well. There's no you can follow astrology, but if you decide, you know what, I don't like this aspect of it, then there's no consequence to not following astrology. Or they would say that I dated a Taurus or whatever, I'm never gonna do that again. Astrology was right. Like they could come to that conclusion, but at the end of the day, obviously we know that is not true. But that's where the whole fake spirituality comes in. Okay. So, and continue on in the comment. Perfect for people that grew up with no religious background and or discipline. Okay? See C-Die right there. This comment from C-Die. I mean, he really said it really well. So, now, a lot in this day and age, in the 2000s, that's where a lot of the people have been deciding to become agnostic, atheists, and all this stuff like that. So, in their growing up, obviously they didn't really have anything that said, okay, you cannot do this, or they're more likely to not say I'm not gonna do this. And hold on, let me see, because there was another thing. Before I get into scriptures, I also want to point out that there's and it just went from me, Slakia. Let me find it. Is it here? This? See this? Okay, this is a perfect example. Israel, write down all your points, all your lessons, all your scriptures and precepts, because you cannot remember it all. I literally just had a beautiful point and it just slipped away from me. Oh, okay, there, Slakia. I did have it written down. Okay, so it's basically, and the thing is, we do, all people instinctually have that whole mindset of there is a higher power. Now, not everyone will agree on said higher power, but everyone, primarily the agnostics and the atheists, will say that will say to most people there is no higher power, but when shit hits the fan, they'll be the first ones to say, "Oh, God, if you save me, I promise I'll turn my life around," like stuff like that. And I think there was a study, or there was another video that I watched that literally proved and said that atheists and agnostic people do say that if they're in a storm or whatever, on a boat or something like that, and they're about to die or whatever, then they will say, "Oh God, if you save me, I promise I'll turn my life." Like, they're gonna become Christian converts. All right, that's the crazy thing about it. Okay, so with that in mind, that already proves that people, even if they say that they don't believe in a higher power, they instinctually, even if they refuse it themselves, not mentally, verbally, mentally, or internally, they will believe in a higher power. They will believe in a higher power. They do believe in a higher power. Another thing to that is, Slakia, if I'm just keep on rambling about this without getting, I want to get these precepts, but another thing is they a lot of times there are atheists that say that claim to be atheists, but they say that, "Oh, if God's real, then God prove it to me." Like that. This is the type of stuff that they're saying. So they say that God is not real, but under the same breath, they want to challenge the same God that they don't think exists. So that's another thing, that is another layer of proof that they themselves can't deny the actual foundation that there is the Most High Power, YAHAWASHI. All right. But back onto this astrology thing. Slacky if I got a little sidetracked. But astrology actually have some substance behind it, though. It's just females like this that make it look bad. Okay, so he's saying that astrology actually have some substance behind it. Okay, so in a way, what I want to word this properly, because, like, for example, if I read about what's it called, the signs, and the sign that they said that I was Virgo, I do read it. I read it, and I have read it before, and it said like something that I do agree does what's the word, describe me well, but at the same time, there are certain aspects of my personality that it does not capture. Okay, so basically, it is generalization, but it's not 100% on the money. All right, and this person, indeed, it's Ryu. Now, astrology is saying the same thing in different ways and drawing conclusions off of qualities most people have. Astrology is dumb as fuck. So, I get, like, right even before I read it. So, this person basically said what I had explained. It is a generalization, but different, I guess, like he said, drawing different conclusions off of qualities most people have. So, most people would have this, and then that's how they explain it. All right. Blah blah blah. Explanation. Outright prejudice. I guess it is kind of prejudice, because there are certain people who say, oh, they hate Taurus or whatever. Astrology has nothing going for it but make believe. It doesn't explain the origin of life, which is the origin of intelligence. However, spirituality is something that uses astrology more in depth. Okay, here, perfect. I think this is good, and then I'm going to stop on these. I'm agreeing with y'all 100%. Social media and females like the one in the videos made astrology look dumb as hell. However, spirituality is something that uses astrology more in depth, rather than just saying all Leos self-absorbing. Now that is stupid. Okay, so basically, again, like I said initially at the start of the video, it's astrology is supposed to be their form of spirituality. All right, that's where the lack of a higher power comes from. Okay, that's the need for spirituality. That's the need for the higher power, because in astrology they don't need to be responsible for anything. They don't need to avoid anything. They're just saying, okay, astrology is guiding me to do this, guiding me to my happiness, okay? But there's nothing that I have to do in exchange for said happiness, okay? That's where astrology is. Astrology is just the information in order for you to get to that, the spiritual information in order to get to that. But they don't want any if you fall through from following my astrology guidance, then you have to suffer like this. Like, that's basically what astrology is, okay? So that's basically, what I want to glean from this. So the lack of a God, okay, the lack of a God in their lives is what leads people into this practice. All right, and the people that are the most likely to go into this, also the people who make this in order to have some sort of in order to fulfill their desire for that, okay? Because again, people have that desire for guidance, so they will seek after said things. And in addition to that, the people that are most likely to do that, the people who made a whole country off of wanting to try everything out, is Esau Edom. That's what America was made for. America is the great American melting pot, okay? Let me actually go great melt. Oh well, that's whatever. Anyway, why is the United States referred to as a melting pot? A melting pot is a metaphor for a society where many different types of people blend together as one, okay? So if Esau has a whole bunch of different nations in one place in his country, then he can go try Buddhism, he can go try astrology, he can go try Christianity, he can go try Islam, all this stuff. That's what the United States was made for. That's the Great American melting pot. That's what he made. All right. Now, looking at the scripture, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, for who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Salakia. So, let's look at the word profane. Profane. All right. Profane, relating or devoted to that which is not sacred or biblical, secular rather than religious. Okay. Now let's look what secular means. Denoting attitudes, activities, or other things that have no religious or spiritual basis. No spiritual basis. Okay. So there we see that in the scripture it's describing Esau, Edom, the Edomites, as people with no spiritual basis. Okay. Secular rather than religious, and that's where profane comes in. Okay, so with that, when said spiritual desires come forth in Esau Edom, then he has all these other religions to choose from. Okay, so which correct me, I'm not correcting me, but I'm correcting myself in saying that astrology is not a religion. Okay, so the atheists, in a very simplistic manner of saying, not literal, but maybe literal, yes, but in a simplistic manner of simplistically pointing something out, the atheist Edomites will not believe in a religious belief, but when it comes to said the practice and the actual hearing out, or just the practice, just the practice, but that's when he'll want to go see and go exploring. Okay, and that's another thing that they do. They go exploring out all these wicked things, like you should go exploring your sexuality. That's disgusting and wicked. All right. So now we see and we have an understanding that Esau Edom is a profane person, meaning has no spirituality in them. Okay. And again, that lack of spirituality was what leads them to stuff like that. But even though they don't have any spirituality, again, it goes back to, if they are in danger and they say that there's nothing that they can do to save themselves, that they're going to say, "Oh God, if you save me, I'll turn my life around." And that's what a lot of these born again Christians claim that they were. They were a bad person, and then because of one faithful encounter, they changed their lives and they became Christians. That's literally what it is. They grew up atheists, agnostics, and then after certain thing happened in their life, they changed. Now, next, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 9. And hypocrite with Slakia. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 9. And hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Okay, so an hypocrite meaning someone who, a hypocrite obviously is someone who says one thing but does another thing. Okay, practice of engaging the same behavior or action for which one criticizes another, or the okay. So Slacky, there was let me get my notes out. Okay, exactly. I have my note. Like I said, notes are a savior. Slacky, notes are not a savior, but you know they're very helpful and very good, especially if you are making lessons yourself. Okay, so Basically, the hypocrisy in Esau Edom being a secular and a very what's the word? Basically, being secular is that they teach they want to teach people, because that's what a lot of atheists do. They go around saying that, God's not real, you guys are being stupid in believing in a fairy tale and stuff like that. So in that same with that same mindset, at the end of the day, they are also, number one, they still believe partially in God, or in YAHAWASHI, they call God, because when they are talking about the Most High, they're challenging him. Okay, it's meant to be a challenge in order for him, in order for the Most High to show or reveal or prove his existence to these people that are disrespectful or just not worthy, or Edomites, and are insignificant in the first place. Okay, so, and in the second aspect, in the second part, it's also the fact that they, when their lives are in danger, will go to the Most High Yahweh in order to have him deliver them from their calamity. Okay, so it is hypocritical for them to be saying that, you guys need to stop believing in God, but then at the end of the day, they still believe in God, whether they verbalize it or not. Okay, or if it's in the back of their mind, and that's destroying these jakes, because that's leading them to be atheists as well. Okay, so that's how, with that, a lot of jakes are becoming atheists. Okay, because they have these wicked Edomites putting stuff in their mind in order to I don't want to say question, but just abandon. Okay, yeah, that's a better word. Abandon faith. Slakia, excuse me. Okay, so what and how they are being destroyed is because when all hell breaks loose, and when it's actually time to show who was believing and who was practicing and who was committing to following the Most High YAHAWASHI, it's gonna be shown, because through your works. Okay, if you're being destroyed, that's following after Esau Edom is death, and following the Most High's word is life. Okay. Salakia. Alright, so John chapter 5 verse 24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Okay, so with following the word is everlasting life. Okay, and because they didn't believe in the words of the Most High, then they're going to be condemned. All right, that's what a lot of Edomites are leading Jake into. All right, and continuing on in Proverbs chapter 11 verse 9, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Okay, so the knowledge, and having the knowledge, as well as practicing it, knowing what to do, that's how you're going to be delivered from not only his captivity but any hardship, any death and destruction that's coming to Babylon. All right. So continuing on in Isaiah chapter 45 verse 16, they shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols. But Israel shall be saved in the Most High with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Okay, so in trusting the Most High YAHAWASHI is everlasting salvation. But all these idols, all these other sources of God that are not the Most High YAHAWASHI, that's going to lead them to be confounded, ashamed, and they're gonna all go into confusions. They're making idols. Okay, it's not okay. The makers of the idols are leading these people to be confounded. Okay, because when it doesn't work, when they're proven wrong, that's what leads them to that shame and confound and being confounded. All right. So, like for example, if they say that I got myself a Leo, just like astrology said I should, and then that doesn't work out for them. They get married and then they divorce, or they don't even get a chance to get married, and then they're not with that ideal person that their astrology had told them. That's where the them being confounded comes in. Okay, because it is already being showed to them that astrology is not the definitive. Astrology is not the real spirituality, and that's not what's going to lead them into not only salvation, but them getting what they want or need. All right, especially if it's for women, because women are the one who primarily go following after this. Like not only like those comments said, but in a general sense, the women are looking at and asking, "Oh, what's your astrology sign?" Whatever. Okay, and when they're confounded, that's when they see, okay, well, then what do I actually have? All right. So another thing is I wanted to bring up, because this would be a very quick video, so I just thought I should put it in, is these people, hold on, let me bring it to this. I'm gonna show you, like the title says, Gen Z is the most miserable generation ever. That's a really good. Okay. Right. Okay, well, there, perfect.
Very early age, because
let me just go to the original video. What's the name of the video? Oh, it's probably do all Gen Z. Thank you. Yep. Okay. So
as like they were, so it changes because where you come from is so different from America.
I have felt depressed. 3, 2, 1, go.
come on, guys, come on.
all right, so one of the things that the two guys pointed out was, the two guys previously in the other video, this girl went past the line. So I think that is such a a major indication at how really depressed she was. So most of these people are on strongly agree, and then the only odd man out is freaking someone that's on agree. So very clearly that this generation, the current generation of, I guess, adults like 20 years or old, or people my age or whatever, they are depressed, okay, or older than 21, whatever the Gen Z is. Anyway, they're pretty depressed, okay. So with that, like, you need to understand why is that such a thing. They don't really go in too much about on it, but basically, I think a good indication is the fact that a lot of Gen Z are basically a lot more knowledgeable on stuff, okay? Because it was when Gen Z grew up that we started using the internet. It was when Gen Z grew up that we're growing up that a lot of access to information was readily available. Okay, so now what does information have to do with, or knowledge basically have to do with, the depression? Okay, let's go into Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 18. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that with the amount of Gen Z that are actually depressed, I think it's safe to say that we're in the times of knowledge. Okay, and I'm gonna read the precept on that. Daniel chapter 12 verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So in the time of the end, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. During the time of knowledge, that's when knowledge is going to be increased. And in addition to that, while a lot of people say that Gen Z, I think it's Gen Z or millennials, whatever. What is Gen Z? Because now I'm just getting them confused. Okay, so researchers and pop media, blah, 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 use the mid to late 1990s as starting years, so like 1995, I guess, as starting birth years, and early 2000s. So between, I would say, just to signify, basically 1995 to 2014, I guess. That's Gen Z. And I'm pretty sure, isn't that millennials as well? Gen Y? Okay, so never mind. Wait, what year? Oh, okay, millennials are 1981 to 1996. Is 1996? Okay, well, there's no definitive, so I guess. But this said 1994 to 1996. So I guess they just, whoever fits it, I guess they're just going to say it for 1994. 1995, 4 to 6. So you could be a millennial or Gen Z. So anyway, in Gen Z, and also another aspect to that is, look at what they're calling it, Gen Z. Gen Z's basically the end of the alphabet. You know, so basically they know. All right, they know that this is spiritually the end. Okay, we're in the time of the end, as it says, the time of the end, knowledge shall increase. All right, this is not no coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. It's all spiritually pushed at the same time through the will and power of the Most High YAHAWAH and His. All right. So yeah, with that, okay, we have all these Gen Zs, being depressed, and they're a lot more likely to research information. A lot of them say that there was even I agree. My parents and I agree on political issues, okay? But quickly, just see what it says.
My parents and I agree on political and social issues. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so a lot of this is a perfect example. Well, these two. This guy probably researches about wage gap. What's the thing? Women's issues, racism and stuff like that. So he has access and he can go and learn about that stuff, and he probably does. That's why he's on disagree, and at the same time, of course, he's gonna be talking about you can be LGBT and whatever, while his parents are probably against that. And this woman, being a Muslim, her parents could be super Muslim conservative, and then she wants quote unquote freedom from that. So she wants to go and act like, I want to be a feminist and whatnot and do all this stuff. Okay, so obviously with these two are the perfect examples that actually she shouldn't really be there. I don't know why, but anyway, you can actually go watch this video by yourself. Jubilee always makes videos like this. You can get a lot of information from how they're answering off of the different videos that they make. Okay, but yeah, basically at the end of the day, these Gen Zs, obviously they're born with between 1994, I guess, to mid 2015. Okay, so these people are all at that age where they're starting to become. They are the new adults. They're going to be the new generation of people leading, the world. Is basically what they're going to say. But we know, through the Spirit and all the prophecies that's going on, that these people are the people that are going to be at the end of the world. The adults at the end of the world. All right. So, this is basically the core of the people that we're going to be seeing how things go. All right. So, with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I also want to point out that, again, with all this knowledge, increase in knowledge, there's a lot of people, Jakes as well, who are just trying to search out for an answer. Because I know, me personally, I was also like, okay, like, what is the answer? Like, what's the answer to why is God letting this stuff happen? Because before I was in this truth, I did have a strong feeling of why are, I'll say, black people, so-called black people in the ghettos and suffering like this, because obviously being a Judite, that's I was more worried about like my people like me. What do I have to do for me to have a better life? But now that I'm, in this truth and I see, okay, so it's not just, or so-called black people aren't just my people. It's also the Ephraimites, the Gadites and stuff like that. The so-called Native Americans, so-called Hispanic people. They're also my people. They also are in bad situations. Okay, Mexico. Oh, a lot of Mexicans, they try to cross the border. I mean, I knew of that, but like I didn't know the full weight of that. Also, I didn't. I literally had to come into this truth and then do my own research to learn about how horrible life is for the Native Americans, because the Native Americans have it bad as well. A lot of Native American young girls, not even women too, but young girls are getting kidnapped. They're going missing. All right, and then when they were first beaten, when the Edomites came here and just stole their land, they were taking their kids, boys and girls, and trying to remove their knowledge on what they were before from them. They're trying to re-educate them. All right, and they would punish them if they mentioned something or mentioned their old names. All right, so we are all the Israelites, it's not just so-called black people. All right, it's everyone, all of them. All right, we're all going through some stuff, and we all want the change. We all need the change. All right, so with that, I thought, why is God putting me through this? Okay, that's why I said back then, before I was in this truth. Okay, but as I see and as I learned more, because again, we're in the time of age of information, and a lot of brothers at the time, they put the information out there. Okay, they made videos. That's another thing that you need to understand, that these videos are very helpful. There's information that's information that someone who's searching for it could find. All right, it's also good to go out on the highways and byways, but the fact that I never had a chance to see that brothers on the highways and byways until after I had already gotten in the truth. Okay, so these videos that are made for people to know, for people to search up and actually see, even you sharing a video to try to publicize this information is very helpful, because a lot of young brothers who are, could be considered Gen Z, who don't know this truth yet, they could be searching for that information, searching for the answer to why am I going through this? Why am I going through this thing? Why are we going through this thing as a people? Okay, the so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans could be searching for that answer, but they don't have it because there's not enough access to said videos being sent out to them. All right, or being readily available, or they're just unlucky enough to see it. But as time has gone on, to be honest, hearing at the time, certain brothers saying that, it was so hard to find videos on this truth when I was younger, and these are brothers that are older than me right now. Okay, so if they were older than me, they're having a hard time. They were having a hard time looking for a video back then. Even how much easier would it be now for them to see a video and just learn from it right now? All right, and one bad thing though is that video a lot of videos, a lot of brothers' channels are being taken down. So their videos are being deleted because of a plethora of things. Okay, so one of the things I'm doing is I'm still trying to make more and more videos. Trying to do what I can to spread this truth out. Okay, even if you don't know this truth, one of the things that I just realized right now is you could be sharing and spreading out this truth of spreading out other brothers' videos that are actually able to teach. Primarily GMS. Okay, I highly recommend sharing GMS videos. All right, they're best at what's it called? Teaching, not only teaching but also answering questions. They very oftenly answer questions, but also they have the 100% truth. Okay, and everything you want to be prepared for, you have to, there are just too many camps out there that are not, giving everything out properly. Okay, one of the things, what's it called? HOI. Okay, HOI. They don't teach. They teach that the mark of the beast is a spiritual trip, not a physical. Okay, that's wrong. All right, but Slakia for getting off track again. I hope this lesson was edifying. This is a very important issue that we need to understand as Israelites. All right, so hope I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High Yahawah, Ba'ashem YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem YAHAWADAH. Double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who taught us the truth through the Spirit, and Shalom.